Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is Toshita Chown, an industry leader in growth and innovation at Policybazaar.ae as the business head for car and health insurance. With over a decade of experience in business development and marketing, she's played a key role in transforming the insurance landscape in the UAE. Her strategic mindset and customer-first approach has led to groundbreaking initiatives, making insurance more accessible and efficient than ever, which is exactly what we need. Welcome to the show, Toshita.
Thank you so much for coming.
Health insurance, let's dive in.
So people who may not be tech savvy or familiar with the online platforms, how does Policy Bazaar ensure a seamless experience for the customers?
Right. So when it comes to insurance, most of us, we don't understand the minor terms and conditions, right? We know what we want to buy it for, but there are so many smaller terms and conditions which we are not aware of. So we try and simplify the language for our customers so that they understand what it means, basically what it covers, what it doesn't cover. And we have an assisted kind of a sales process where you can chat with our insurance experts. They can call you, they can explain to you everything on the phone or email or WhatsApp, through all our official channels. So I think we're a blend of digital and offline, because I think insurance people want to be assured by a human that, hey, yes, this is correct, and what you're buying is, what it covers and what it doesn't cover for you.
It's so true. When you get a vast amount of knowledge, but at the end of the day, I can say yes, but I really do also want that human approach. So Policy Bazaar is obviously a key player in the industry. So what challenges do you see in the industry right now, and how are you guys working to address them?
So I'll talk more about health insurance, because that's a key area for us, where we've made certain changes and advancements basis what we thought the customers here in the UAE are looking for. And we get loads of inquiries on our platforms. We have so many data points that we could gather that where are the gaps. And we realize that, hey, the health insurance plans been sold in the UAE traditionally they've been great in terms of coverage, and the government has done a great job in making it mandatory. And now, in Northern Emirates also it's mandatory. And how can we make a difference to the customer's life, especially when you're buying individual health insurance? Because in group health, like for example, when your employer pays for it, if you face any trouble, you have a more structured platform to raise your grievance, whether you go to your HR and you take it up with your manager, etc. But when it's an individual policy for you and your family, it's you with the insurance company, right? You're dealing with them directly. And we kind of come in between and see how can we solve that for you? How can we give more for the that money that you're paying the insurance company? How do we add more value to that? So I think under the PB Advantage program, we've kind of, we've tried to do that.
Right. So what is exactly PBH Advantage? How is it different from health insurance plan or part of the health policy plan?
So PB Advantage is basically Policy Bazaar Advantage. It's an exclusive program designed for Policy Bazaar customers, where we've taken the health insurance plans and added our kind of benefits onto it, which don't come at any additional cost. They're kind of given, at a free cost to our customers, whoever's buying a health insurance plan from us under this scheme. We try and give you 4 or 5 benefits here. One is a no-claim bonus, which is unheard of in the health insurance space at the moment.
Wow.
You would have heard that in car insurance, that if you don't claim, you get a cheaper premium next year. But in health insurance, there was nothing like this up until now. So we try and basically reward healthy lives. People are not claiming too much. So if you've not made any inpatient claim, you would get a 10% increase in your policy cover, your sum insured, for the next year. And that can go on to 10% every year on year, up to 5 years. So if you have sum insured of 1 million, it can move on to 1.5 million over the next 5 years without you paying any additional cost.
Wow.
So that's one of them. The other is auto recharge. And what is auto recharge? The name suggests auto recharge. Basically, if you have exhausted your policy limit for a particular illness, and unfortunately, if you develop any unrelated illness in the same year, we top up your health insurance cover for the same amount. So you are kind of covered for, all the possible claims that you could make in the year.
So interesting. One of the things that also stuck out to us was the 30-minute claim. So I'm just wondering how will that kind of work in real time, How will it streamline, I guess, the process for us as customers? And like, do you have any examples of how it works?
Yeah, so a 30-minute claim assistance is basically, again, as I said, a lot of us are employed under the group health scheme, which is very straightforward. You know, you don't really give your individual medical application in terms of what pre-existing conditions you have, etc. It's under a larger pool and your claims start to get processed. If you have any grievances, you go to your HR. Under the individual, you have to really declare what your personal medical conditions are, what your medical history is, etc. And if you face any issue, you are kind of given a toll-free number to call the insurance company or the third-party administrator, which is the TPA. And at some point, no one gives you a guarantee as to when they'll resolve your issue, right? They will definitely resolve your issue, but it could be in 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, or in 48 hours, you don't know. What we try and do is, because we understand insurance and we understand the customers' on-ground issues, what they're facing, and we understand the policy coverage and how the whole system works, we are telling the customers, we will give you an assured response within 30 minutes as to what's the status of your case is, where is it stuck, and how can we resolve it for you, right? So this is something where today in this digital space, the customer wants everything as of yesterday. They don't want to wait, right? And we're just saying, hey, we may not be able to solve it for you in 30 minutes, but we're gonna assure you what can be done and what should you expect. So because when it comes to health insurance claims, it's either you or your family who's ill or sick, and that's not the best mindset or mind frame you're in. So you're anyway kind of bogged down at that time, and you really don't want to deal with multiple phone calls, you being put on hold, etc. So that's kind of where we intervene and come in.
That's so true. Having that worry during those times is the worst. You just don't want to be thinking about insurance.
What about auto recharge? How does it work?
So auto recharge, as I explained, we try and top up your sum insured. If you've used, for example, let's say, again, extreme cases, right? Sometimes we develop multiple conditions in a year, which we never thought like we could have a knee surgery required. True. And we use a certain amount of the policy for that. Surgery, which is which costs a certain amount, and then you have a certain unrelated medical condition, like you could have, let's say, kidney stone or some other injury, etc. And you don't have any cover left, although you have a health insurance policy, but there's just no money left in that for you to claim. So for unrelated claims, we would top up that amount. So you are kind of covered for the year. You can sit back and relax, and with that one policy, it kind of covers you for everything.
Ensures that no worries are in place, basically. Like everything is covered.
And see, we realize this because we really deal with hundreds and thousands of customers on a daily basis, and we know what is the issue that they face, and the medical insurance is the costs are increasing month on month, year on year. And for every buck, how do we make their life easier, and what do we give them extra is something I think we strive to do for. And all this is only available at Policybazaar.ae, and we strive to not charge anything extra for this. So we're saying, hey, if you're buying health insurance, have a look at what Policybazaar.ae offers, then make up your mind as to what you want to buy, and where you want to buy from.
It's good to have the conversation, because I feel like it's a bit of a minefield out there when you're kind of going online. So even having this conversation and creating that awareness around things like your 30-minute claims assistance, your PP Advantage as a whole, and we spoke about auto recharge. But the program also speaks about resolving issues and getting quotes for pre-existing diseases. Is that a big issue?
Yeah, I mean, see, traditionally, we have a lot of people here who have some pre-existing conditions. They could just have a higher BMI, which is, just overweight. And they could have some lifestyle conditions, which could be diabetes, hypertension. And we see these as very common declarations. What we saw very commonly being as a practice done in the market was customers used to think, hey, if I don't declare it, it's fine. Like, how will they know I already have this condition? But when you go to the doctor, you will, they will know your history, because they will ask you questions, and you don't lie there. You will tell them, like, what sort of medication you've been on, if you've had any previous surgeries, etc., because you want the doctor to really know your history to assess your case. And the insurance company then gets this feedback from the facility that, hey, this is the case, and if you don't declare it, it's a misdeclaration, and your claim is declined. And unfortunately, there's nothing anybody can do about it. Although you've paid for a health insurance policy, it doesn't exist for you because you can't use it anymore. So we educate customers on this, and they then open up saying, okay, I have this condition, or I have a high BMI. But they want the policy as of yesterday because they're transacting on a digital platform.
Right.
But typically the insurance company underwrites this risk individually, looking at it, that what can they do. So it would take us 24 to 48 hours to go back to the customer with the quotation and what premium, the insurance company would charge them. And sometimes the customer either has to go visit a hospital then, or they've just lost interest in the waiting time. So we've kind of now made a process, because of the massive amount of data sets that we have, as to what are the conditions, what are the insurers charging in terms of premiums, what are the loadings that we can define, and we've created an algorithm where we're able to turn around a quotation for you in 30 minutes. So that's kind of what we strive to do.
Here to save the people.
We just want everyone insured, basically, right?
Okay, if we can dive a little bit deeper, what is the NRI Advantage program?
Right. So Policybazaar is a very well-known brand back in India, right? Indian customers have huge brand affinity towards us, and they kind of look up to us as one source of information where they research about insurance products and what's out there in the market. And we said, hey, why don't we solve something for our folks here in this country? And personally, being from India, we understood that what are the challenges we face. And health insurance in India doesn't quite work the same way as it works in the UAE. If you were to buy health insurance in India, the insurance company has to look at your case individually, and they may say, hey, depending on your current health profile and condition, they may not choose to give you health insurance. Or they may say, hey, I will give you health insurance, but I will apply waiting periods, which could be up to 4 years. So if you have a certain condition, you could be paying for health insurance, but that will not be covered up to 4 years. And when, as NRIs, we moved back to India, we were much older than what we are today, right? And mostly we saw people retiring here and moving back. And at that point, you've kind of developed some minor pre-existing or major pre-existing diseases. And then if you want to buy health insurance, A, it becomes very costly. B, there could be huge waiting periods. C, the insurance company could totally decline your case. So we're saying, hey, you buy a policy from us here under the NRI Care program, and we will ensure that policy operates back in India as well. You will get cashless inpatient treatments done within the same policy across 400 cities in India. And when you do move back to India, we will port this policy for you without any waiting period. So, and we exist in both the countries, right? Here in the UAE and back there. So we'll be there hand-holding you as to how do you move that policy back home.
That is such a boon for Indian residents.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And there's one more thing to it. As Indians, when we go back home, everything's much cheaper, right? We're converting dirham to rupee, and we want to buy everything and get it back to the UAE, whatever's more expensive. And we love to get a medical checkup done because we're like, hey, we're going back. Let's just use the Indian facilities. We love the doctors back home. And we said, okay, why don't we give a free health checkup back in India to our NRI customers who are in this policy? So we added that as a feature because we know that at some point, most of us travel back home at least once a year. And it'll be great to give this kind of a service to our customers, and they should have a look at what's going on inside their bodies.
Please, Policybazaar, set up in Ireland because my mum, we've had this issue where we have Irish health insurance for her, but she's been living here for years, and I think that's such a great product, and I think it's really looking at the needs of UAE residents. It's so important. Health insurance is so specific to individuals and people, so for anyone watching today who has individual questions, which I'm sure they are, how can they find you guys?
They can just contact us on Policybazaar.ae. They can contact us through email, phone, WhatsApp, call our toll-free lines, contact us on our social media pages. We're everywhere.
Toshita Chown from Policybazaar, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Massa.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of the Lovin Dubai show today. We're back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.